Good morning, traders. So let's get cracking with the Dow Jones. Now, yesterday I, highlighted that, what is this bar? Is it a exhaustion bar or is it a proper bull bar that we're going to get follow through on? And we didn't get much movement yesterday. We're still hovering pretty much at this level. I mean, price is right on it at the moment. Just want to zoom in to make sure I've got it correct. There we go. We're just above it at the moment. So obviously the markets are waiting for what's happening with old Kimmy and Trump at this stage. So there's nothing much we can read into at the moment. But what I do suspect we can do is run that up like that and run that up like that. So, either we have a big weekly wedge forming or we have a channel forming, but one of the two. Okay, daily. Okay, so what we have on the daily is pretty much still a range, but we are trending to the upside. So now that's 1, 2, 3 touches there. But if we kind of just do that, you'll probably find that we have, there you go. So there we have a pretty much a channel that we are running up in. Okay, so now a couple of things that I'm really concerned about on this, and the oscillators are grouped to the top. They fell off and they're now grouping again. Okay, MACD is kind of flat at the moment, so it's kind of a double top MACD, and price is moving to the upside. So that is classified as divergence, right? We are through the cloud, so we are kind of Ichimoku is in bullish territory, and I just something niggling at me just to say be careful, because there's something brewing which may not be very positive. So let's just have a look at the daily candle. So we did get this hanging man, so we would have needed a red bar to confirm it. So we didn't get a red bar, so that's null and void. But what we did end up with was a pin bar. Okay, now that is a rejection bar off a level. So there's the level there, and you can see, well, let me just adjust this to the first inside tail, which is there. Okay, and that's exactly where we hit and turned. Right, so that is a level that we have got a rejection bar off. We have gapped up. Okay, we'll look at a lower time frame now, and to be quite honest, there's nothing to read into that at the moment. But if we do get a close below the bottom here, so let's just put a level in there. If we do get a daily close below this, then that would validate this pin bar. So one thing that you can see is that we are far away from Kijinson and Chikinson, and Kijinson's gone flat. So let's just get to, I think what I'm getting at is that for me, there's no reason to go long here. But if you are long, there's no reason to get out yet, if that makes sense. So, this is purely a case of those that are in at the bottom here are still holding their longs, and it may break through and they'll be lucky and made a good trade out of that, or it may break to the downside. They'll still have a good trade because their stops will probably moved right below this 4-hour fractional at the moment. Okay, so I think that the key here, if you look at the 4-hour, is we did break this 4-hour fractional. So I'm just going to move this level up now. So this is now our level, because we broke this fractal to the upside and we formed a fractal to the downside as well. So this is still very bullish, and you can see on the 4-hour everything's pointing to the upside, and it's just that I find it very difficult to go long when we are at some key levels, right at key levels like this. But just because I've been burnt so many times, I'd rather wait for a pullback. But this trend is strong. So if you look at the how prices is using Tecumseh as support, you see this bar here, use it again, and we're starting to rally. So maybe, there is merit in saying, well, let's try and stick with the trend and look for the trade long, and the pullback may only be 1 or 2 bars, and you just need to stay awake for that. So that's probably the best way to approach this right now. And just in saying that, there's no reason to go short yet either. That's what's really bugging me. You know what I mean? So there's no clear indication that we are getting tired and we're going to get a pullback, and there's no clear indication that we're going to break through. It's almost like we're in limbo at the top of the channel or top of a range, and it's just something that I didn't look at. We're not really top of a range. I suppose you could argue that this is a range here, these tails. So it's the third time we've touched here. Anyway, let's just look at what the potential play for today is. If we look at the hour, you can see from an oscillator perspective we are nowhere. And I just want to highlight on the oscillators here, you can see how the stochastics, 2 different stochastics, when they crossed over quite far apart, can you see how quick the move to the upside was? So when this happens, it's often more, there's more to read into it than actually just a grouping. You can see here a group here, and you would think, okay, now we're going to fall, and we don't. We just consolidate. As we consolidate, stochastics come back down, and then they open up, and then they move up. So you can see here, same thing. We're grouped, still rose, getting diversions, then we fell a little bit, and then as soon as this happened, you can see not really a grouping, just a crossover far apart like this. So that one crossed over up there, that one crossed over down the bottom, and then we rallied. Okay, so I think this is probably going to be more of the same to me, and let's get rid of this flashing. So yeah, so I think for me, it's really, I suppose you'd be looking for your longs, and if we were paying attention, this would have been the entry long, and you should still be holding this long at the moment. So this is Friday's entry. So Friday you should have been long and just still holding it because it's rallied and now we're ranging. So if we just do this, that is our current range. Okay, so a break below here is going to mean downside, a break above here is going to mean upside. Up until that point, we are ranging. So if we do come to this level again, it's long. If we do get to this level, it's probably I'm not going to suggest it's a short because the trend is up. So what you're looking for is trade with the trend. So let it come down, get in with a long, and trade at the upside. Okay, now remember we're looking for third time lucky as well. So this was the level. First time we did break through. For second time at that level. That's what I mean there. So if that was the first level. First time, second time, third time. So do we have a break above, or are we going to break the downside? I think this is what we need to watch out for today. And one of the best ways of doing this is using the range. So use the last 2 hours, and this is specific to the Dow, okay? So that is your range, okay? And we are basically trading within this range. So a break above this level or a break below this level is where price is going to move. So if I go back to Friday, so there's the last 2 hour candles. You can see we broke up and we hit the breakout target there. Okay, and we hit it twice. So we almost hit target 2. And I'll do one more for you. Do that, and there the 2 hour candles. You can see we broke through and we hit the breakout target. Okay, you can go test this, go back as far as you want, but it basically works out. The breakout target's always pretty much hit before the market opens. Sometimes the next two targets are hit when the market opens. So at this stage, it is ranging, and we are also forming this little bit of a triangle here. So, and I'm pretty sure that if we look at it on the Bollinger Band, we'll be slap bang in the middle of the Bollinger Band right now as well. So I think we need to wait to see what comes out of this North Korea-US summit and take it from there. But anyway, guys, that's my play for the day. Probably another day of sitting on my hands for the Dow. And I need to wait for stronger signals to get in. Anyway, hope it helps, and I'll catch you guys later. Cheers, man.